First of all, I got to start by tipping my cap to the Tennessee Titans. They are a mentally and physically tough group. We talked about it all week, man. We knew they wouldn't flinch. They've been in these type of games more than we have, to be quite honest with you. We knew that was a winning edge for them, and it showed. We had something to do with how the game got as well. You know, we gave up a big play for a touchdown. We turned the ball over. You do those things against good people, they're going to get back in the game 100% of the time. And thankfully, our guys didn't blink, man, and was able to hold it together and make enough plays to secure victory. Not a perfect product. We understand that. But I appreciate the efforts. We are perfect from a record standpoint. And so we respect that. We realize that we got AFC North ball next week on the road. We're going to a group, man, that has 7 days advantage on us. So there's a lot for us to be urgent about. We won't spend a lot of time celebrating this or appreciating this because it's just more work that lies ahead. But we like that element of the journey. And we're excited about assessing what's transpired, hopefully making necessary improvements and positioning ourselves for next week's challenge, man. I don't have a lot of information regarding the health of the group. I'm sure there's bumps and bruises associated with the play. But, again, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Tennessee Titans and Coach Mike and just their commitment to their style of play and the manner in which they go about it is really challenging. They're a good group. Questions?
Mike Pursuta.
Mike, on the ball that got intercepted in the end zone on your second-to-last possession, I think it was Smith-Schuster on a linebacker. Is that considered open in your guys' estimation? Is that a shot worth taking to put the game away?
Man, it's NFL football. We play to win. We don't live in our fears. Is it a combat play? Is it tight? Yes. But we had a quarterback that's been doing that for 17 years, man. Sometimes you just got to acknowledge that they made the play in the moment. And we desire to, and that's why we're not going to live in our fears. We're going to go in those instances to secure victory.
Brooke Pryor.
Mike, what kind of second half adjustments were they making defensively, the Titans making defensively, to stop you guys from being able to do those long drives that were working in the first half to keep Derrick Henry off the field?
You know, it's just football. I don't know that they changed anything that they did. I mean, we had a tip pass that got intercepted and, you know, we were penalized some. Things that happen when you stop yourself. You know, they were competent, no doubt, but I don't know that they changed anything schematically or anything substantial changed. We just got to play better. We didn't play well enough in the second half for it not to be as tight as it was.
Jerry Dulac.
Hey, Mike, at the end of the first half, when you got the ball back there and you took the shot in the end zone, would you just figure it was one shot into the end zone, or was there much consideration given to something shorter and then kicking the field goal?
Prior to the false start, all the things that you mentioned were on the table. Once we lost the 5 yards on the false start, then our mindset changed.
Joe Rudder.
What went in your thinking of taking the ball after you won the coin toss?
We wanted to answer all questions from you guys about how we start the game. And so we took the ball, we went down the field and scored a touchdown, so now you guys can stop asking me about it.
Jeff Hathorn.
Mike, can you speak to the combat catches your receivers, tight ends were able to make in this game?
Man, you know, they made the necessary plays, but it was also extremely tight coverage, man. That was 5-star ball, man. That's a good group. Guys like Juju, man, and others, man, stepped up and made those plays. But, man, you got to tip your cap to Tennessee, man. They made those plays, combat catches, man, with tight coverage.
Dejan Kovacevic.
Mike, you mentioned that winning is the thing, obviously. At the same time, can your team take something? Can you benefit in any way from what happened in the second half? You know what I'm saying? And maybe
hey, man, we're looking to learn. We're looking to learn every Sunday. Hopefully we're learning while winning. And so you're absolutely right. There's some lessons to be learned. I mean, you don't win many games -3. I think we were -3 in the turnover game today. You don't win many games giving up 70-yard touchdown passes. And so it just kind of speaks to how our group is positioned, man. But definitely things to be learned from what transpired.
Tim Benz.
Mike, both in terms of execution and in approach and strategy, can you speak to how you handled Henry in the first 30 to 35 minutes, and was it at all similar to your thinking going into game one against Saquon?
You know, we talked about the importance of minimizing him, and from that standpoint, it was similar. But, we didn't do anything that we don't normally do. We played the defenses that we normally play. We just got to defeat blocks and make tackles and try to prevent them from falling forward. Tall task with a guy like him, and particularly as we talked about from an attrition standpoint over the course of the game, and you felt that. You felt him getting going, and that was troublesome. But that's just the attributes that he brings and they bring to play, and so that's why it was important that we got started early.
Time for a few more. Mark Caboli.
Mike, were you able to get a view on how Spillane did, in your opinion?
I know he played winning ball. I hadn't looked at it with a fine-tooth comb, but, like we said, even prior to this performance, we weren't concerned about the quality of his play. I definitely was not. I was concerned about fatigue as snaps set in. And so, we supplemented him on possession downs with Ulysses Gilbert, who also did a really solid job. And together they were able to stand in for Devin. And, not that we didn't have complete confidence in Robert, but we didn't want him playing 65 or so snaps. We thought he'd have a better chance to play a winning performance if we kept it around 45 or so, and that's why we supplemented him on possession downs.
Brian Batko.
I know Deontay left early with an injury, but how much of an emphasis was it to get him involved after missing most of 2 games when he was out?
I don't know if there was an emphasis. We try to maintain balance and take what the defense gives us and spread it around, and maybe their attentions were elsewhere because he hadn't been on recent video. But we just try to take what the defense gives us.
Final one, Will Graves.
Mike, sort of along those lines, not a lot of James Washington today. Was that just a matchup thing?
Again, oftentimes, we're willing to let the opponent determine who the hot hand is. And so, we're just trying to distribute the ball. We got a bunch of capable men. James is obviously capable. And I'm sure if called upon next week, he'll be the guy that we'll be talking about.
1 second. All right. Thanks, Coach.
And we will make sure to get